baby. I understand. I ain't gonna be selfish no more. I ain't gonna be fooling around with no other females no more. I'm gonna be good, baby. I promise. You hear me?
You don't mean none of that mess. You just running your mouth.
For two? Oh, no problem, no problem. It'll be about just a 20-minute wait.
As president has signed the Freedom of Choice Act. That's the first thing that
Now, the Freedom of Choice Act is not my highest legislative priority.
Well, the first thing I do as president.
You know, we have a lot of expressions in the English language.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
What are we talking about?
Where'd that come from?
Most all of us use them every day.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means.
You know, we just say them as if they really made sense.
I mean, how silly is that?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
What the f is he talking about?
Yeah, what's good? You know what it is, and you know who it is. It's to me, Mario, and welcome to Appraise the Phrase, Origins of Everyday Expressions, where we're here to do three things: confirm the meaning, unveil the origin, and assess the value of common everyday phrases. Don't be shy to talk during the intro because I can edit you out. So yeah, don't even be shy to talk during the intro. But you know what it is today, man. I'm always joined by one of my best friends in the world, even better co-host, if you can believe that. My guy 20 in the building. What's up, 20?
Yo, what's going on, guys? How y'all feeling tonight?
They never answer you, man. They never answer when you ask the people.
They never answer, but I'm always asked just in case for the ones that answer to themselves.
It's a moral thing. It's a core value. You don't do it for reciprocation.
I do not. I do not do it for myself.
That's upstanding. 20, the upstanding citizen. So let that be known. Yeah. No, it's on record, man. It's being recorded. So it's got to be true, right? All right, bet. Today, it's a family affair in ways. I got somebody that has a connection with me and 20 that goes beyond the current day. A Robert Morris connection. We all went to Robert Morris University. Yeah, Bobby Moe.
RMU.
For the indoctrinated. Yes. But let me introduce on another level, bigger to me or better to me than RMU, is a friend of mine, Chef Toya, is in the building. What's good? Yes,
What
Chef.
is up?
Hey, Mario, you got to give her a little hand.
Yeah.
Let's get her comfortable.
You feel me? Thank you.
Let's get comfortable.
No, for real. Because at the end of the day, we need some recipe.
I'm saying y'all come to Cali this summer. It's a wrap. I got y'all.
Say less.
Yeah, look, say less. You ain't said nothing but a.
Yes,
Toya, Chef Toya, tell the people really, because it's been a minute, man. We all went to Robert Morris. We all left. I came back. Everybody left, then I came back. But since then, man, it's been a minute since we caught up. Since then, what's been going on with you?
Yeah, it's been a minute. So I ended up, at the time, I had to sit out for 2 years after RMU. I transferred to HBCU, which is Benedict College in South Carolina, which was an amazing experience. That's how I feel like that's what really brought me out of my shell. Robert Morris, I was still kind of like, trying to figure myself out.
Yeah.
So when I attended the HBCU in South Carolina, I feel like that just really helped me pop out of my shell. Played basketball there, won a championship there, and graduated. You got to say that, and graduated. No, but so I graduated from there in, I think, 2015, 2014, something like that.
Around the time.
And I was trying to figure out who I was becoming to be. So I worked at Walmart, which was, it's a high volume store. Everybody know what Wally World is. So I worked at Walmart. I was assistant store manager. And I did that for about like 2 years. Yeah. 2 years. Knew I didn't want to do that. I was like, I'm too smart for this. Like, I don't want to be inside confined. I want to be outside doing my thing. So I took a leave of absence from there. Am I telling y'all too much? I mean,
no, you tell me what you tell me. We're going on a journey. We're going on a journey, right?
Well, this was a journey for sure. So, yeah, like I said, I end up taking a leave of absence, which I mean was a gift. It was from God because I'm like, how do you do that? You only been here a year, and I still got paid full salary, right?
There you go, finesse.
Right. So, so I was in California at the time working at that store. And then I always wanted to live in the South, so I moved to Charlotte. I had a lot of cookouts. Let me back up. I had a lot of cookouts at my house in Anaheim. I stayed in Anaheim, California, which I still do now. I moved back to Anaheim. And my friends at the time, they were just like, man, Toya, like, you're good at this. You need to, run a catering business. And I was cooking out the box. You hear me? Like cooking out.
Okay. Yeah, make
I
it
was
known.
chefing out the box at the time. So, like I said, took that leave of absence, moved to Charlotte, and I was just like, my leave was coming up. It was coming to an end. And so it was either, hey, Toya, you're going back to Walmart, or you're going to do this full time, full throttle. I was scared. Like, I have bills,
the real life shit.
Maintain. So, man, it's a journey. So, I resigned. So I wrote my boss a resign letter, and I told him I wasn't coming back. And that's the beginning of Chef Toya.
Hey, there we go. Before the show's out, we're going to make sure y'all know how to support Chef Toya. Got a lot going on, man. Like, we're very honored to have you on the show. Obviously, like I said, because of the connection, but man, like, you're doing your thing, and for it to be the path at which you found it, man, it's good for the people to know that. So thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
For sure. All right. Getting into the show today, because Chef Toya is the one of, if not the best doing it, you got to claim it. Wayne did it. Drake did it. You call yourself the best, and then you let the people decide. But at least you in the category now, just off the fact, right? That manifestation. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? I know you do your thing. Everything you post looks amazing to me. So we decided, me and 20 is like, look, the phrase we got to do, we got to get another food phrase. So today we're going to dissect.
There's so many out there.
It's so many, man.
There's like just with cooking and just
food related, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I didn't pick it out of a hat, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, out of the many, we gonna go with this one. So we gonna get into the origin and meaning of grain of salt. Okay, grain of salt, which a lot of people say, and we got to know where that came from, because what? So 20, start with you, man. Set the tempo. What's your connection with grain of salt?
What's the whole phrase, if you don't mind me asking? Like, I just didn't hear, like take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt is what usually people say. And then people just say.
I'll be honest with you, though.
Yeah.
Chef Toya, don't get upset with me. I've used it. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah, you use it without knowing what it means.
I'm not gonna lie. Yo, you know what? Honestly, I ain't gonna front. Like, take it with a grain of salt. Like, I'm just if I had to guess when the circumstances that has been said it's like just don't put too much on it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't look too much into it.
Yep.
Just take it for what it is.
Yep.
So that's what I would have to say. My correlation is with it. It's like, just taking things for what it is and not trying to put too much into it, because sometimes the actual meaning is on the surface of it. You get what I'm saying?
You think it says what it means?
You don't have to be too deep into things when you're taking things with a grain of salt. So
gotcha.
That's my guess.
Yeah, word. All right, Chef.
What do I think it means?
Not what you think it means. What's your connection to it? Yeah.
Like, have you ever heard it before? Is it something
honestly,
that you use?
I'm with you. I never heard that before. I thought you was going to say something completely different. Right? I've never heard that. Never heard.
Whoa. This is good. Yeah. Then. This is good.
Be a learning episode.
This is gonna be
we
all going. I've heard it. I hear it a lot. Mainly from my experience, it's similar to what 20 was saying. It's like to downplay a thing, right? To downplay a scenario, you tell the person, well, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And my feelings about that, and which is why I chose it, my feelings about that are, what do you mean? Not what do you say, like what does it mean, but like what do you mean by I should not take it as legitimately as I'm taking it? I shouldn't take it as serious as, like, why? And then I'm like, grain of salt.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, huh?
Right.
All right. So that's where we at with it. So let's get into
Makes sense.
Right. Let's get into the Webster's Dictionary definition of grain of salt, with 20 saying, like you said, take it with a grain of salt. It's a very simple and straight to the point definition. Webster's defines grain of salt as a skeptical attitude. It's an attitude of skepticism. So, 20, I'll toss it back to you real quick. Is that where you were leaning towards, like skepticism?
Yes and no. Like the skepticism, it's just like, who's being the skeptic one? You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Is the person that's telling you to take it as a grain of salt being skeptic, or the person that you know what I'm saying? Like, the recipient is the skeptic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like the recipient is the one that's skeptic.
Right, you know right. So the definition could be from the lens of I am taking it with a grain of salt, as opposed to the definition being,
hey, take it.
Hey, take it as a, you know what I'm saying? And like I just said, my experience is always people are saying it. I've never, and me as a recipient is like, I don't want to. I want to take it exactly as I took it.
Right.
From jump.
Or as you meaning it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I
don't want to look at, tell me how you mean. I don't want to look into it. I don't want to do any more work if you're telling me something.
Fine line.
Right.
Man.
Or it seems like it's just like a take it how it is, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just be real with me. And like I'm one of those people that are like, just be real with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give me extra homework. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you can tell me what the basis is right away, then tell me what the basis is right away. And let's get to the situation right away, instead of like me have to come back. Oh, that's what they meant, or
reading in between the lines, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so Toya, how do you feel? Like, what's your general ethos? What's your general thoughts on like having to read between the lines?
I'd rather you be straightforward with me.
Heard that.
You know, like I hate trying to figure it out. Like, I don't want to play figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, just let me know up front what it is, how it's going to be. That's how I am. Just up front.
Keep it straight. Yeah. That's why I hate it. That's actually part of why this show got sparked. It's like my brain is like, if we spend more time with, you know what I meant, take it as a grain of salt, then how am I supposed to know what anything fucking means if everything got like a little bit more to it, or it has a little bit less to it? Like, nah, y'all get better at delivering. All right. With that said, man, since we all need some of this education, let's get into the origin. That's awesome. God, I love my natural binders, man. It's like, all right, y'all, let's take a break because we're about to do something. I love it. All right. So the first layer of the origin of grain of salt comes from Pliny the Elder's Naturalis Historia. Pliny the Elder, so that's who wrote it. Pliny the Elder wrote Naturalis Historia in 77 AD. So right after they got my man Jesus up out of there, 77 years later, my man Pliny the Elder wrote this. And he wrote, the phrase popped out in this regarding the discovery of a recipe for an antidote to poison. Okay. So in the antidote, one of the ingredients was a grain of salt. So threats involving the poison were thus to be taken with a grain of salt, making them less serious, making the poison less serious. So the phrase cum grano salis, which is, you know, how he wrote it in Latin, with a grain of salt, is actually not what he wrote specifically. It's like we had to put it together in English grammar, as opposed to Latin. So the actual words are addito salis grano, which means after having added a grain of salt. So the actual take it with a grain of salt isn't what he wrote. He wrote after having added a grain of salt. But as far as that's the verbiage and the wording, but the meaning comes from if you want something to be a little less threatening, take it with a grain of salt, because this is the recipe to make poison less poisonous. Okay. So
it's pretty much, it's saying it's more of a, like when you taking negative information. Maybe is that what it is?
Yeah,
like
yeah. So my experience,
or just expect something,
or an expectation. Yes. So, like I said, taking it back to my experience with it is like people be like, if someone says, "Yeah, that they didn't pay you on time, right? They didn't pay you on time." You're like, "Well, shoot, like the economy is such and such, so take it with a grain of salt. Like don't take it as a threat."
Saying,
yeah.
Hey man, they about to tell you the checks ain't in, so just take it with a
Yeah,
grain
so take it with a grain of salt. Like take that less threatening.
They don't tell you why, so just take it when they tell you why. Just take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
my beef with that is like, no, man. That's my general beef with that. I'm willing to change it, which is why we're doing this. I'm willing to learn more about this phrase. But anything else? Where y'all sit with it, Toya? Where you sit with learning that it's actually grain of salt is the recipe to make poison less poisonous.
I mean, it's to me, it's interesting. I mean, just thinking about like business is just, some people actually run their businesses like that. Hey, what do you expect? Like, if you don't get, your package on time, well, take it with a grain of salt. What do you think? Maybe it's the weather or, anything, the route change or this pickup or that pickup, flat tire, anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like, expect the unexpected.
Which we might have to dig into because I want to know who the first person to say that.
I mean, it sounds kind of bad though, but
it was hard. That's another hard one for me because it's like how far into the expectation before I believe the unexpected. And I don't like that. All right, so the next stage in that, let's learn a little bit more about Pliny the Elder. His actual name was Gaius Plinius Secundus. Like Latin was wild. They were going wild with Latin. And he was a Roman author. He was a naturalist, so he believed in all natural herbs and things like that. And at this time, like 23 AD to 79 AD, when he was alive, what do you mean?
MRI machines and shit like that, or they ain't have fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course you're a naturalist, nigga. That's all you have.
That's all you have.
Right.
Yeah, like, okay, like you're not eating like a sword or some shit. Like you know what I'm saying? What else was y'all making that was not natural?
What else? Exactly, bro. Like seriously. Like seriously, bro. Like
it makes me mad, man. Like, yeah, of course. So am
I. So am I. It's like somebody back in that day said, "Oh, yeah, so am I, bro."
So am I, bro. Like, yeah, like
right, exactly.
Literally, what's outside? That's all we got, bro.
That's all we have is these fucking berries and these bushes. That's all we have.
And take that with a grain of salt,
bro.
Right.
Exactly. And he was also a natural philosopher. So not only was he a naturalist, he philosophized about nature. And on top of that, he was actually an army commander. So like, I guess in his spare time, because in the Roman Empire, they had a lot of fights. So I don't know how much of a naturalist you were being if you were a damn commander in the Roman Empire. And he was a friend of the emperor Vespasian, so maybe that's how he had room to write and stuff, because only the smartest and brightest had the opportunity to write. And he actually wrote the Naturalis Historia, which derived from Latin means natural history, is like kind of the first version of the Encyclopedia. So it became like the editorial model of the Encyclopedia as we know it today. So outside of fighting all these wars, he spent a lot of time writing and investigating natural and geographic phenomena. So he would send people out in the field, I'm assuming, and as he was twiddling his thumbs, he'd be like, wow, lightning's kind of scary and shit like that. Like, what's going on, shit like that. He died in 79 while attempting to rescue a friend and his family by ship from the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. So he actually died in the fire of Pompei. That's how he was gone. He's one of them people that's like still one of them statues. The guy that came up with grain of salt is a statue in the town of Pompei, unless he like melted, disintegrated immediately. So
I'm pretty sure he melted.
Yeah, probably so. All right, so let's talk a little bit about
this. Being a realist.
Are you being a naturalist or a realist?
Just been a naturalist, bro.
Right.
Naturally, he would have burned up in that volcano. Let's talk a little bit about natural history. The Encyclopedia. It's the largest single work that survived the Roman Empire. So it's like, yeah. So it's a very important book. And even though it's titled Natural History, it's not limited to like the natural world, which is why we get into poison and grain of salt and stuff. Because Pliny used Aristotle's like division of nature. And Aristotle's division of nature is animals, vegetables, and minerals. That's what he considered nature. And so Pliny was like, I agree with that. Those are the elements of nature. And that's what he started writing about. Right? Is there anything else we'd be missing?
Yeah. Rock. No, that's part of nature. Okay, yeah.
That's mineral. Animal, vegetable, mineral.
Me too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how they was.
Grass?
Yeah.
Nah, vegetable. Put that in vegetable category.
Me too.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
The fucking Romans, man. I'm telling you. So with that said, the components of nature weren't just described in and for themselves, but the role that they played in human life. So Pliny was like, okay, nature, cool, but how does nature impact humans, right? And so we're building this case for why he was interested in having a recipe for antidote to poison. So he wrote a lot of books about plants with the focus on the medicinal value. So the books on minerals include descriptions of like how minerals are used in architecture, sculpture, art, and jewelry. So like he believed in the power of minerals in like inanimate objects. So before I keep going, do y'all believe in the power of minerals in inanimate objects?
No, but go ahead.
So you don't think like a rock, like a what is it? Like amethyst, or not? Like you don't think they have any properties, medicinal properties, or properties when you're wearing them?
So you think if I feel like if I hold this rock, it's going to make me feel healthier? Is that what that's saying?
More connected to the earth.
To earth. Is that what you're
Some
saying?
people feel like that though.
No. You know what's crazy?
I don't. Not me. I don't. Yeah, I'm a no too.
Those people that sell you like those different color rocks and rocks on necklace and all that stuff like that. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I tried it because when you're ignorant to things, you try a lot of things. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. It's the third show we said that on.
Yeah, outside of the show that we dissected.
Outside of the show, yeah. That shit go hard. Yeah, bro. But then once you realize that, you know what, this motherfucker got me for these $25.
I don't feel no different.
All I feel is used.
Right, this rock is making me feel fucking
on me. I got this purple rock around my neck that's itching. I just feel used right now.
It's changing colors and all.
It's changing colors and shit. I can't even take a shower with it, bro. Like, I feel used right now. You know what I'm saying? So I guess in a way, it does make you feel a way. Just not the way they said it was going to make you feel.
Is it like a mental? Probably. You think it's mental?
I think there's some placebo effect. Yeah, there's some.
It's definitely mental. It's definitely a mental aspect thing. It's definitely something that, like, when you believe into something, like that shit right there is the most powerful thing when you believe into something. You get what I'm saying? So, like, these people believe that this rock is going to heal you. So it's like okay, how about this? It's like a cold or whatever. Maybe it was a cold. You know, a cold takes a couple of days. You just gotta do the right thing, take care of your body or whatever.
Yep.
So here you go. Here's this rock that's going to get rid of cold, and it takes 10 days. Well, yeah, shit. Yeah, generally the cold is going to be gone if you're taking care of, if you're doing the right things.
Naturally.
You get what I'm saying? But yet you're putting it in on the rock, saying that it's the stone that's making it go away, not you just not doing the
like
shit
day 5, you keep going out the room without the rock, and you're like, oh shit. Day 6, you're like, oh shit, my rock. I'll take that shit to the kitchen.
Exactly. And those people aren't taking it. They're not taking that on with a grain of salt because they really believing that this rock is really the savior to all of their. You get what I'm saying? All of their illnesses and stuff like that.
Yep.
For real. Then when the people die, they like, oh, see, he didn't believe hard enough.
He didn't believe hard enough. Like, you got to really. Did he chew on the rock? All right. So
that is so funny.
So actually, I asked that because Pliny's work, reflected the Romans' expansion, imperial expansion. So as they were growing and these thoughts were coming up, they were spreading these thoughts. So in these thoughts brought about new and exciting things to Rome. So it made Rome even more attractive. And then like exotic Eastern spices started to be brought over, strange animals that weren't natural to the Roman, the parts of Rome. And then they were all brought to display and herded in the area and in their arena. So like zoos, like basically like zoos are being created based off of Pliny's like deep love for nature. And then he said he said he found a phoenix and he brought it to the arena, and then he was like, it's a fake, y'all. The phoenix. Then he finally admitted, like on his deathbed. Well, in 47 AD, he died in 49. He admitted in 47 that, like, hey, y'all, this is not a phoenix.
It's a peacock.
It's a peacock.
So crazy. That is.
Yeah, but guess where he went to get all these things? I'll give you guys two guesses. I'll give you both two guesses.
Let me tell you something real quick.
Right.
Yeah, Emperor, for real. Before we close out, I want to let you know that's a peacock. No.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So crazy. That is funny.
So get with that. Like the guy is pulling out all the stops to make this come alive. And he's also wants you to believe that a recipe for curing poison is a grain of salt. And he wants you to take that in, like digest that. It'll hurt less if you take this grain of salt. Real quick, where do you think Pliny was getting these other animals and exotic spices? I'll give you Toya one guess, quick guess. Where do you think he was getting them? Where do you think he was going? It's okay if you don't know.
Maybe he knew somebody that knew somebody.
He definitely did, because that
He
was
definitely knew somebody that knew somebody.
I mean, that's what I would.
That's what I would guess. 20. What'd you think? No, it's close to that. I'm gonna nail it, but it's close to that. 20. What you thinking?
But back, like, if just going by the history of what I've like learned and shit, like either it was like Persia or fucking Africa.
Good job. I told you to guess one, but Africa. Yes, of course. The Romans was like, I'm going to go to Africa because for me to prove this thing true, I'm going to go see what they got going on. And they took all the spices from Africa and all the animals. And like I said, whatever one that was a bird, he was like, I'm going to tell these niggas that this is a fucking phoenix. And this is just like a regular bird from Africa. So that's, you know what I mean? So again, like this guy's starting to get a little bit tapped. So while he was writing natural history, he was learning all this and grasping all this from other areas. What the dog doing?
Oh, that's a dog. That dog is huge.
It's a huge dog, yeah. He want to be a part of the podcast. I told him next season he didn't want to listen. He's because he has to go through the training.
Well, he's a part of the animals, huh?
He is a part of the animals.
That's actually a phoenix, y'all. Actually, it's not a dog.
Right. He's a phoenix.
It was a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
This interruption with a grain of salt.
Take this interruption with a grain of salt because it's a phoenix that's interrupting you. Yeah,
that is so funny.
We gonna overuse and abuse this. So,
y'all gonna have to be saying that out here.
Oh yeah, you bet to. Just make sure you state the origin too as well.
Please, make sure folks know. Because so actually Pliny, as they're getting all these new spices, plants, all this new agriculture, they started to talk about how useful it is as drugs. So then he listed over 900 drugs, 900 back then, like opiums and things like that, and He said that he's the first one that was like opium-induced sleep can be fatal, and that like how to use it partially to cure diseases and stuff. So then he was like, that's not enough. Then he wanted to get into magic. So he, there was the magic come from like the Magi people, and he was like, all right, I want to get into magic and address magic because I want what I think to be right, and some of y'all and what y'all think is wrong. So I don't like astrology, in that all y'all that be whipping it up with magic is really just the medicine game, right? And y'all are using magic to act like y'all healing people, but it's really just medicine. So he named ancient Persian Zoroaster as the source of the magical ideas, and was like firmly against him. He teamed up with Democritus and my boy Plato. And it was like, all right, we're going to go learn this magic shit and break it down. And then he was like, oh, like Jay-Z said, the spiritual shit really works. He was like, oh, this magic shit kind of worked. So they accepted the magic that they learned and brought it back to Rome as medicine. And so there was a doctor of medicine, Hippocrates, and magic, Democritus. So then they started like having magic and medicine be a part of what they believed in, and they used it to win one of their wars.
So what the stuff that worked right away, they called it magic, but the shit that took long, they called it medicine. Basically is my takeaway. It's like, no, okay,
it's all medicine. Yeah, it's all medicine.
Right.
But
the word right away was like, yeah, that's magic, man. But that's magic.
So that's his story. That's the story of Pliny. Like he went about, you know what I'm saying? He wrote this recipe, poison, grain of salt, because he really wanted to know about nature, know about the healing properties, in that a grain of salt will reduce threat. Now, some say that he wanted to make himself immune to poison because he was such a large fighter in the Roman Empire and a leading commander. So he was like, people gonna try to take me out, so I have to get immune to poison. So he started ingesting small poisons or various poisons, different ones, and testing out his grain of salt treatment. Yeah. And so he really just was like, okay, I have to figure out if I'm taking the salt to help me eat the poison, or if it's the cure to the poison, the antidote to the poison. Nobody ever knew what he actually was trying to do, but that's how it stuck. Because the poison got him.
That is so funny.
Yeah, man.
Because he died, nobody. The answers died with him.
The answers died with him, dog. So that belief system got to the general Pompey. So the general Pompey started to believe the same thing. And Pompey the Great was actually another Roman general who was obviously under Caesar. And so as he was he was an ally of Caesar's, and Caesar started to understand that he thought this way. So Caesar portrays him over time, and he killed him. Of
course.
Did he poison him?
Because they was about that in the Roman.
Roman
Empire was about that betrayal.
Did he poison him though?
Huh?
But did Caesar poison?
That's what I want to know.
Probably,
listen, they was either stabbing niggas or poisoning niggas back in the Roman. It was either one or the other, baby. The poison. It was either one or the other.
Toya, what do you think? Where you at with it? Where you at with
poison?
Like?
Yeah. Stab him in the back.
Where you at? Poison
I
or
think
stab
so.
in the back? You think which one?
He may have. Through a little,
Poison,
I think he may have.
Poison.
You have to, right? Because if he's like friends with him at first, and he knows that he's like, he believes this thing from Pliny, and he's like, yo, fucking, I think I'm gonna be poisoned too. I think I need to be immune too. And then he said, take a grain of salt to remove the poison. And then Caesar's like, yeah. You should definitely be concerned about that, man, as we're taking over stuff. And then as they get into a conflict, because Pompey was done, man. Pompey was like, I've done a lot of shit. Pompey the Great was his nickname. I've done a lot of shit. I am done, dog. And we all know Caesar was like, I'm good. No more. I ain't even got to look over my back. I ain't got to take no more grains of salt. Mm-hmm. I'm laying it down. And we know Caesar was like, I want it all.
Yeah, right.
I want it all. So if you're chilling, I got to get you out the way.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get you out the way, dog.
Exactly.
So that's how that went. Now, that's how it like gets cemented in history. That's why it's such a big deal, is because it goes down like all the way to Caesar saying like, all right, I know that the that taking a grain of salt may be the antidote to poison. Now they don't say how he killed him and portrayed him, but he killed him. Now, here's where the confusion may lie as we wrap up the origin. That the Latin word for salt, the word salus is like the because you know how they have gender forms in other languages. So like solace is like one of the gender forms. So sol is the actual word. It actually means both salt and wit, right? Like to be witty, or to be, you know what I'm saying, has to be clever. So some like theologians and people that are translating now are saying like you could either take it with a grain of salt or with a grain of wit, to be mean like take it with like caution, or take it with like some sense, some cleverness, like to be smart about it. Gotta be smart about it. Like that's right. So now we sit the end game with take it as a grain of salt as it stands. It's stuck, but no one is actually sure if they mean take salt literally, like take what you poison or whatever, or as with salt, or take it with a grain, meaning a small portion of like caution. Where y'all at with that, Toya? Where do you think, knowing all that we know, what do you think Pliny meant with the actual salt or with like caution?
I think caution. That's what I would say. I would think, yeah, it just hearing the story and the history behind it, I just take everything with caution.
With some caution, yeah. 20, where you at with that? Where you at with it? What are you thinking?
I think honestly, I feel like this, man. At the time, I don't think people was that deep at the time. I feel like through the evolution of the saying, maybe people took it as caution, like but at the time, I feel like they were just really saying, hey, look, poison goes down a little bit better with salt. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, like I'm totally be honest with you. Like it wasn't. I feel like the times during the test of times, it makes it deeper than what it is. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like obviously, come to find out that salt isn't a cure to poison. Obviously, you get what I mean. So it's like when people are saying take it as a grain of salt, they're trying to say, okay, what did he do? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did he do it? Mm-hmm. Why did he do it? And then once you start to unwrapping that onion, then you can kind of say, yeah, you know what? Maybe he was just saying be cautious. Maybe he was just saying this and this and this when he was doing it. But like at the time, I feel like people are just, upfront about
very
what they're saying.
very literal.
Yeah, very, very literal.
Mm-hmm.
Very literal.
I'm trying to think. I'm kind of where the theologians are, and y'all can keep going, because it's like I could definitely see it being the literal like testing of trying to not have the poison kill you. I can definitely see that. Like take it. This
bro.
is
because back then, like we just discussed, bro. Like that was the means back then. Like everybody was getting poisoned. Probably every other week, nigga, somebody was getting poisoned, dog. You get what I'm saying? So there's this one guy that's like, you know what? They ain't gonna get me. They ain't gonna get me. Or I'll be able to taste it before, you know what I'm saying? Like before whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It was like a prevention, maybe. Maybe it was more of a prevention than because like I said, like if you know that you're living in a society of backstabbers and schemers and all that other stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
there's a song for everything. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a great thing. It's a great song.
It is.
You living in that situation, you live in a society where it's like that, man, you're gonna protect yourself no matter what. And when you're desperate, you're gonna go through desperate measures.
Especially if you're a leader,
especially if you're a leader, especially if you know that you got people out there that go against you, or people out there that not on the same page that you are. Yeah, of course you're gonna realize that, hey man, you know what? That might get me poisoned. You know what I'm saying?
But Toya, you just mentioned a good point. Hold on. You just mentioned a good point, Toya, where it's like that's why I'm putting some weight on the be cautious part, because you kind of also got to be a thinker as a leader too. So maybe he's like, I'm stretching it because I have no facts to back this up. But
that's the best time. That's the best time to stretch, when you don't have facts to back it up.
There we go. Yeah, like so you better stretch. You better stretch, man.
You can stretch across Atlantic, bro. You can stretch across Atlantic if you want, because there ain't no facts.
It's like maybe it's cold. We could have been cold. I mean, I don't know. No, that's a bad stretch, because the nigga was writing books. Like Pliny was writing fucking books about natural shit. You know what I'm saying? But like also, damn, like, yeah, maybe the cautious came second. Be cautious.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain. Because if you say take it with some wit in the recipe for, yeah. I don't know philosophers. I don't know. Let me scratch my eye. I don't know if they know what's up.
I'm telling you, bro. It has to be a situation where it was literal at first, but then it became more of a, like, when everybody start to really, like, it start to popularize, it becomes a measure of caution.
You know what? I'm gonna take another leap. And I need y'all to have an opinion on this and either back me or like don't back me. Right? I think, because it doesn't say when it got popularized. It just says when it entered the lexicon, when it was first written, how it was written, and then like we went on this journey with Pliny. But like I think the popularization goes through Caesar. I think he's the most important person in this whole thing as far as it sticking. And it will make sense to me if it started out literal and became less literal if the theory that I murdered this nigga via poison, I know for a fact that a grain of salt doesn't help you. So I'm going to make sure people think that it does so that nobody is on to me. Like, no. He knew the antidote to it. So I definitely didn't poison him because take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt.
Can I reach a little bit with you, Mario?
Please.
maybe, just maybe, they tried to poison him. And since he's been doing all these researches with poison, it didn't work. So they had to stab him at the end.
That's what I think too. I'm with you on that one.
Maybe they was like, yeah, nigga, see all the salt I've been taking. He's still dying. But he's looking up at him. Caesar, I can see you. Like right. You feel me? Like poison is supposed to be an instant thing. You get what I'm saying?
Blur your vision and shit.
So maybe when he took the poison, he's like, eat it. I've been eating this. Did you just poison me? It tastes
That's what I think.
That's what you think. Okay, so so we're saying, Toya, I'm putting you on record. You're saying that you're connecting the dots to say Caesar tried to poison this man. It didn't work, and he's looking at him like, I'm going to tell everyone, Caesar.
I'm going to tell
everybody. And
I'm telling everybody. I don't care who it is.
So Caesar had to do the old noble thing and stab him.
Caesar out here
poisoning niggas, man. He want to take it all. He wants it all.
Right.
I knew the salt worked. I knew the salt.
Hey, y'all, take the salt. Take the salt.
Right.
Take the salt. If Caesar tries to poison you, take the salt. Word. All right, y'all are funny as hell. Let's grade. Hey, man, we can't end the day. We can't end the show without appraising the phrase. So let's grade this thing. So, Toya, this is how we grade it. It has 3 categories to our grading. It's an A through F grading scale. The first one is the power grade. I'm going to toss that to 20 because I feel like I ain't heard 20 do the power grade in a minute. And that one is, does the phrase have impact when you say it or hear it? And does it get its point across just when it's said? Like, does it get the point across? Then I'll do the speed grade. So that is like, is it just easy to say? Does it flow off the tongue? Does it sound good? And then you're going to do our guest preference, our wild card grade, which is all things included. And I'll repeat this for you when it's your turn. It'll be what you think about the speed, what you think about the power, how often you use it. Obviously, we established not at all. Your personal feelings on it now that you know the origin and meaning, and will you start to use it and all that stuff. So 20, let's get into it. The power grade, man. What you thinking?
Well, I'm giving it a D. Just off of power alone, because like it took us to actually hear the story to just actually start fucking with it, because all of us at the beginning was like, like it needs a little bit more. You get what I'm saying? At least just grain of salt, or it needs take it. You know what I'm saying? With it, you can't just say grain of salt. I feel like that right there is going to leave people in like a, what do you mean? You get what I'm saying? Unless they already heard it.
Unless they've already heard it. Because I do hear people say, hey, grain of salt, man. Like that's, I have heard that too.
Yeah, you do hear that. Yeah.
Like, hey, grain of salt.
That's
man.
What I'm saying. Like you hear that, but those are people that probably use it, or, you know what I'm saying, are a little bit more comfortable with it. But if you just say grain of salt to anybody, I would say chances are give him a percentage, Mario's, because
you got to give him a percentage.
I would say about 72%
quality.
won't know what grain of salt is if you just say grain of salt. So I'm just like,
I would say on the C.
I would say one of those things where I said D. I say about D, man, because it's like it needs a little bit more to it to actually be a little bit more powerful. So
gotcha.
I'll say D, bro.
All right. All right, I'm gonna do the speed real quick. So grain of salt is very easy to say. It's like can of corn, like grain of salt. I give it a B. I give it a B off the fact that like without take it with, and it didn't start out with take it with, but grain of salt because it's like you're able to say it so smoothly you can get away with not knowing what it means or where it came from. So that's probably the highlight of the phrase is like its smoothness to say. All right, can we agree on that?
No, I definitely agree with that.
I agree.
Like, I think the speed is definitely going to be higher than the power. It's just with the power, it's just like, man, you got to really come across some people that know what it means, that rocks with it. Not saying that it's taken away from it. You get what I'm saying? Because like the overall story is like, hey man, just be cautious. Just hear what's going on, and even if it's bad news, you should be able to. There's a way to ease the bad news. You get what I'm saying? Like all of that is justified in its own right, but just by just saying it, it's just like
yeah. What do you think about the speed? That how you feel about the speed, Toya? Like it's probably.
I definitely agree. I'm kind of in the middle with both of you guys, so I would say like a C. Because people do use it without knowing what it means, and then you have the people that use it and they know what it means, and it just like it's kind of the same as like cooking, and I don't want to use that, but it's just the same. Like, oh, I'm going to use this seasoning because
right. Oh, you might have a call coming through.
Yeah, let me put it on. Hold on 1 second.
Do not disturb.
Yeah, I should have had it on that setting.
No, you're good.
But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I'm just like, am I paused?
No, you'll be good. It'll catch back up.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm in the middle with it. Like I said, like people, they follow, like you guys said, Caesar. People follow Caesar. So if he's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So I'm just kind of in the middle with it.
So a C.
No, I hear you that.
Yeah,
it's funny. I'm sorry to cut you off, Mario, but it's funny that you put it with cooking too as well, because like when you have something that's tasteless, what do you do? Add a little bit of salt to it. You know
exactly.
Like something that is like even at the finished product, it's like just put a little. It just needs something. It needs something.
Yeah.
The majority of that something is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like one of those situations where it does stand the test of time, but it's like it fluctuates when it comes to the meaning and the origin. Like now that we aren't ignorant of the actual saying, because ignorance is bliss. We're not ignorant of the actual saying. We can kind of like get a better value of it. But when you're saying it as a novice and saying it as somebody who, is in the cooking industry and stuff like that, I think it's something that hits a little bit more. So
yeah. Real quick. Yeah. So we're gonna give it a C. I gave it a B for speed, and you gave it a C. You're giving it a C overall. Like just the overall phrase is a C.
It's all right.
You can say whatever you want freely.
It's all right. Listen, nobody's gonna come back at you and
What, like 10 years later, like she said that?
Yeah, like she said grain of salt was
no, I honestly, I would say a B plus. I'm saying a C just to be in the middle because it, can go left or right.
But talk to us about the B plus. Yeah,
but just from knowing the history behind it, I definitely would, use it more efficiently than just, take it with a grain of salt. Take it as it is, like now I know what it means, or, everyone know what it means now. So
I can take that. You can take it a little bit more efficiently now that you know the meaning. That's definitely right. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing our show. So people can not, it's like we want to give people to the right opportunity or the right way to use it, and it's up to your discretion to use it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're not here to discourage people from using any of our phrases, but we want you to make that conscious decision, or not by like majority rules type of deal.
Yeah, like just cause Caesar said it, we all saying it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like people say phrases just because, you know, you say it or they say it on the East Coast, so we're going to use it over here. So it makes sense.
Word. All right, B+.
I learned something, definitely.
Yay, word. Well, it's your turn to school us, school the viewers, school the listeners. Tell us more about what you got going on. How can we support Chef Toya?
Yeah, so right now I have a cookbook coming out, and I would say July 1st. That's the actual launch. No, July 2nd, I'm sorry. The actual launch date. And it's not your ordinary cookbook. I've been working on it for about 2 years. So it's going to be a lot inside this book. It's going to be very informative, not just recipes, boring little recipes. It's just going to have like a story, so a different flow. And I think, you know, it'll be very effective in the culinary industry, or just, you know, up and coming entrepreneurs or anybody that wants to become a chef or anything like that. So definitely July 2nd is going to be on pre-order tomorrow on Kindle, Amazon. So I'll have the link to that at chef_Toya_ in the bio.
Bad. Yeah, so we're going to add everything in the show notes to make sure you can reach Chef Toya, get that book. And hopefully we can set up a deal so that we grab a couple of the books and then we sweepstakes them. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna grab a couple copies, and some of our listeners and viewers, you know what I'm saying? If you enter the sweepstakes, enter our giveaway, we'll get a couple of the cookbooks from Toya. So thank you.
For that.
Actually, one more question to you before we let you go. What's the cultural basis behind your cooking? Like, is there a
do you have a niche? Do you have
is there a type of food? Is there like what you just like? What's your favorite thing to make? And let's start from there.
Ooh, favorite thing to make. I would say
No, Troy. Because I feel like you about to go real PC. If you trying to get them, I don't know what's your status now, but if you trying to get them,
there
you got one dish to make.
Clear it up.
One dish to make. What is that dish that you making?
Oh, that's okay. That's surf and turf. That's lobster, steak, potatoes. And, you know, men love steak. You know, they love seafood. They love a good potatoes because it's going to stick. And then I'm going to add some asparagus or some broccoli. If I want to be upscale, you know, maybe some broccoli or something.
All right, fellas, don't be coming in on ATP now. You got to go to Chef Toya personally for that. We know magic. They about to hit up the lines for that. They about to hit up the lines for that.
Yeah, you about to have the red button booming now that they know the secret.
Ain't no thought. Hey, Mario, ain't no thoughty shrimp Alfredo here.
Right, I was just about to say the shrimp Alfredo.
Ain't no thoughty shrimp Alfredo here, baby. Ain't no penne pasta here, baby. We talking about surf and turf.
Everything, and it's gonna be plated nice and everything.
Hey, vouching, because the way you be plating on goddamn socials, I'm like, yo, like, can you send it from Cali? Like, I get the time. Right, can you send it from Cali? I'm on it. Bet. Okay.
Where y'all at?
Okay, where you at? 20?
Oh. I'm in a little small place called Miami, Florida. I don't know if anybody knows.
The reason why is because literally, probably except for this show and maybe one of the last.
I've said it earlier this show. No.
I said it earlier this show. He literally makes it known every show. Like, if y'all don't know, and it's like, damn. And I'm in Detroit, man. That's where I'm from. I'm from Detroit, and it's like, it's good. It's good here, but it's not Miami. And he makes sure everybody know.
No. It's just weather purposes. That's
all I'm giving you.
Oh yeah. Hey, don't be like other guests. Don't be like other guests on our shows, and not hit me up when you come down.
I definitely hit you up. I never been to Detroit though, so
our food scene stepping up. So, and our summertime is the best. So, look, this is what we gonna do again on record, because this is recording. We got to make it a little ways. We gonna come out to Cali for sure. So you in Northern Cali, right?
No, Southern.
Southern. All right. So we
yeah, Anaheim.
Anaheim. Work. You said that. So we come in Southern easy. We down there, and then I'm in Miami quarterly because that's my dog. And then I'm gonna let you know when I'm down there, and then whenever y'all can make your way up to Old Michigan.
What you know about rolling down
exactly. Y'all can come through.
Right.
All right, bet. One more thing before you ride out, Toya. We got a thing, a segment that I love, and I'm gonna pass it to 20 by offering up
the Dictionary of Misinformation.
Oh, I love that. Hit that shit one more time for the niggas in the back.
The Dictionary of Misinformation.
So, Chef Toya, what we do is at the end of all of our shows, man, we end our shows with this. It's something that me and Mario came across with during our research, and it's like this book has really changed our lives, and I would say in the last 6 months. This is called the Dictionary of Misinformation, and what it does is just really inform people that has been misinformed. Plain and simple. Like certain things that you think that is a fact. Well, this is the ultimate fact check.
Yeah.
And we don't. And the reason why we do it at the end, because we don't want no arguing. We don't want no, no, I grew up like this. My mama did it like, no, we don't care about none of that. We're here to give you the facts.
Right.
And off of the show. So what we do is every guest, we ask every guest for a letter, A through Z. All right, pick a letter A through Z, and what Mario is going to do is going to look through the book of misinformation, and whatever letter that you pick, he's going to pick something out there and then just give you the right information about whatever it is that you've probably been misinformed your whole life.
Yes. So any letter.
If you could do us a favor, just give us a beautiful letter. It could be one out of the 26 that we have in the English language. So just let us know.
Yeah, I'm gonna do X. Because I'm sure nobody ever did that.
No one ever did X because we usually say don't. And the one time we don't say don't choose a petty letter. Guess what letter comes out the box?
Right.
The one time where I feel like I've said it enough, but I haven't.
This is why there's commercials. This is why McDonald's still have commercials, because you got to remind people.
Every time I say it, I say, listen, you can pick a petty letter, but try not to. And one time I didn't say it, God bless me with a reminder.
Yeah, so this is actually divine. This is take it with a grain of salt, man. You should.
But I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt,
right?
Because you didn't preface it. So take it being chosen with a grain of salt.
You're right. No. We're gonna go ahead and give you the letter that you asked for.
Well, it'll never get chose again because there's literally only one for X.
That is so.
And it's xylophone.
That's what I was thinking. Like, tell me something about that.
No, we're actually not going to talk about the xylophone. We're going to talk about Christmas or Xmas. And it's often regarded as like a vulgar abbreviation. So you know how do you remember when Starbucks took the Christ off Christmas and put Xmas, and people started wrong. Actually, it's the Old English X is meant to symbolize the cross, because and they didn't want to go with Themis, so it's supposed to symbolize the cross. And also, it's true that the Greek word for Christ derived from the Greek letter chi, which is X. So it actually is an abbreviated version of Christmas. It actually is still including Christ in Christmas. It's not a vulgar or removed abbreviation. It is another level to honor.
Because some people saying that, we don't believe in Christ, but we still want to make money off of Christmas. So they was changing it to Xmas.
But you're not.
But actually,
it's okay.
That X is chi, which stands for Christ, and it's also the cross. So everyone, please, you can say Merry Xmas and still be honoring the Lord who was not born in December. But whatever.
All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of here now.
We are going to roll up out of here. Again, thank you again to Chef Toya, the homie. Hopefully this is not the last time. Thank you to my guy 20. Yep. And thank you to the listeners, the viewers. You can find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are brought to you by the Underdog Podcast Network. Check us out on YouTube. Every episode is on YouTube, the Underdogs Network's YouTube channel. Check our highlights out on ATP's YouTube. What's up?
Chef Toya, where can these guys send these drop in the DMs and
they how they gonna get to this surf and turf? How they gonna make this play for the surf and turf?
Well, I mean, they could drop in the DMs, you know, and if you're ever in Cali, hit me up.
What's your at? What's your at mention?
My at is my at is Chef Toya, Chef_Toya_. I'm on Facebook, but Instagram is a little bit, you know, I respond faster. My email, Chef Toya Catering at outlook.com.
Word.
I can't give my number out right now, but
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. We get a good amount of viewers. Yeah, we get a good amount of viewers on YouTube.
You have to hit subscribe and like.
yeah. You want incentive? No, but I appreciate you. Hey, one thing I need y'all to remember is if you're not taking it with a grain of salt, if you're not gonna do that, at least understand that value is in the eye of the appraiser. We'll check out next week.
Heard that. Yeah, like.